It's time for the Onyx News. Extraterrestrials, time anomalies, dimensions, remote viewing, UFOs, UAPs, and USOs, ghostly encounters, abductions, Bigfoot, and more. Your end of the week news source for everything unexplained. Here is your host for the Onyx News Podcast, Margie K.
Good evening and welcome to Onyx News. I'm your host, Margie K. And we have a fantastic show for you this evening. Many of you know that I have an interest in Venus and the Venusians and Dr. Frank Strange's and Val Thor and some of my experiences I've talked about in the past. But tonight we have a very special guest, Dr. Raymond Keller. He's AKA known as Cosmic Ray. He's a veteran and retired history professor. Is the international award-winning author of the Venus Rising series of books. Dr. Keller's books explore many facets of the conditions in life on Venus in many dimensions from a perspective of conspiracies, history, theosophy, ufology, and current events, especially space research. Dr. Keller was a member of the pioneering Aerial Phenomena Research Organization, known as APRO, and associate of the late Dr. Leo Sprinkle of the University of Wyoming at Laramie, a scientific consultant of that research group who wrote the introduction to Dr. Keller's first book in the series, Venus Rising, A Concise History of the Second Planet. And we will dig into a lot more right here as we bring Dr. Keller on. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Margie. It's a great pleasure to be here and to address all of my MUFON friends, and a happy new year to you and yours, and many happy years to come.
Well, thank you very much, and the same to you. I have a feeling that 2026 is going to be a good year.
I think it will be too. Yeah. And I think our extraterrestrial friends too will have something to display for us at the 250th anniversary of the United States of America as well.
Oh, you're getting very specific. Yeah. I mean, I have felt the same way that it's going to be this year, and I do have a month in mind. I keep hearing the month of September, but you're backing that up to July.
Yeah, I think we'll see some unparalleled events leading up to that, at least on the level of the harmonic convergence that took place at Mount Shasta in 1987. But I was also thinking of the other vortex areas, such as Sedona, Arizona, and the Grand Tetons.
Okay. Well, those would be places that I think ufologists would expect something to happen.
Oh yes.
We will be watching. I'm 100% certain of that. Let's back up though. Let's go back to, when did you get interested in the subject of ufology, and how did that happen?
Okay, it happened in the mid-'60s. I grew up in Bedford, Ohio, southeast suburb of Cleveland. And I was on a scout camp out, and we were coming back, and I saw a disc-shaped object that later I was able to identify as a typical Venusian scout craft. So it's about 50 feet in diameter, and with array of portholes and condensing spheres, accumulators on the bottom of it. And I was so excited about it that when I got back home, it was hovering over about 1,000 feet, I would estimate, over a railroad trestle. And when I got home, I got in touch with the Cleveland Ufology Project, began attending meetings there and investigating UFOs with other adult members of CUP. I was just a teenager at the time in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and began to publish a newsletter, a magazine. Earl Neff, the director of the organization, gave us some money to finance that, and then the National Enquirer did an article about myself and my friend Alan Weston, who published this periodical, and called the Flying Saucer Report. And then we got in all kinds of we got hundreds of subscribers, and we began to exchange information and publications with leading ufologists of the time. Jean Duplantier up in Canada with Saucer Space and Science, Coral and Jim Lorenzen of APRO, of which Earl Neff and myself were members, and even groups in Yugoslavia and Germany, UFO Nachrichten, and there was Mr. Gribble, that's Aerial Phenomena Research Group up in Washington State, and it just really took off. And then I had the opportunity to travel and meet all these people. I had relatives in California, so I would go out there, and Gabriel Green, Amalgamated Flying Saucer Clubs of America. That was the largest contactee group at the time.
Going back to your first sighting.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
that was in the 60s, and so that's me up at the top there, and then over here, and holding up the back issues of the Flying Saucer Report.
oh
So
my.
I also wrote articles for some of these other publications that I exchanged with. I had an article published in Ray Palmer's Flying Saucers magazine, and it was just so exciting. And I did a series of columns for the Bedford Times Register, my local newspaper, and was the editor of my high school newspaper. Interesting that that this was 14 years before Halle Berry, also the famous actress. She became the editor of Bedford High School Fourth Estate newspaper 14 years after me.
Oh, interesting. Nice little interesting tidbit there. Okay, let's go back to your sighting for a minute. Did you at any time, either at that time or later, feel like they were there for you?
Yeah, and I feel I have this. I can't say it for sure, but I just have the feeling that we as UFO experiencers, that we're meant that we're meant to see the ships, because that's our starseed connection right there. That's one of the points, and I think all of us who are interested in esoteric subjects like UFOs and cryptids and psychic phenomena, so forth, is also an indication that that we're getting close to, if not being in our last incarnation on the earth plane, because our soul, at a soul level, we're actually seeking this information because we're going to need it when we transition over to the next higher level, completing a cycle of incarnations on the earth plane, and then Earth's material plane, and then advancing to the astral plane or even to some other planets.
There are some psychics, and I'm one of them, who have seen visions of two Earths, or the Earth is kind of slowly splitting into two, and even in some cases with a second moon. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, and we do have a lot of people don't know it, but we do have a small second moon. It's only a couple miles across, and it's a very small, very small object, but we do have one. Um, NASA doesn't publicize it. I don't even know if it's uh, it might be, who knows, it might be artificial. but uh, but
Well,
we
yeah,
have
that's a
but
whole
we
different
have
subject.
yeah, that's a whole different thing. We could even do a whole program on that later because I have a lot of information accumulated on that. But I do believe that from my understanding that uh, in wave theory, that there are 8 parallel Earths,
Oh,
because when you like you can kind of prove it, um, because a wave can be converted um, to energy, and an energy into a wave, and then we have when you're in the car, for example, and you're tuning the dial, and you pick up a station, and then you go down the dial a little more, and you hear the same station again, that the waves move in an octave. So as the the energy composite waves that form our reality pass through membranes um, in the uh, in the cosmic matrix that's out there, um, it goes in this octave pattern, and therefore there are actually 8 Earths. And sometimes when people um, they they may inadvertently pass between these. Maybe their consciousness is connecting with a doppelganger in one of these other Earths,
hmm.
and and uh, and they have that so-called experience of that they call the Mandela effect, where there's just slight variations in little things, and it's because they may have momentarily slipped into another timeline and experiencing an alternate reality.
Yeah, I've always thought of that as multiple dimensions, that there would be an Earth in another dimension, but in our same space. Am I anywhere near that being true?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was Meade Lane back in the late 40s and the early 50s. He was the president and founder of Borderland Sciences Research Associates in San Diego, and he's the one um, who uh, who brought this to the attention. He said that actually in our solar system there's 60 inhabited planets, and and many other planets and objects that exist in our solar system, but we just can't see them because they're in the solar system but at different wavelengths. And on the Earth, we know that the Earth is multiple dimensions because uh, we have spectral phenomena, we have cryptids, and and other entities, um, the Fae, and Bigfoot, and these appear to be some kind of interdimensional that are sharing our section of the space-time continuum. Under certain circumstances, they they overlap. I know I'm about I'm just right on the Pennsylvania state line on the west. I'm on the West Virginia side, but with Fred Saluga, the director of the um, Mutual UFO Network in West Virginia, and the assistant state director in Pennsylvania, uh, we wrote some books about uh, different kinds of phenomena that we posited to be interdimensional, existing in West Virginia and Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania, we have these roads. They're called gravity roads, and just like on the moon, underneath the surface of the moon, there are mascons. These are uh, huge concentrations of iron ore deposits under the surface that create magnetic disturbances and create electromagnetic vortex areas. And there's places in Pennsylvania, like along what they call the Chestnut Ridge, and in this area, there are these mascons under the surface, and this is just a theory that this is perhaps an attractor for this kind of phenomena. These assorted phenomena.
Well, when you talk about that type of phenomena, there are some other places like in Sonoma Valley, California, where there's a convergence of ley lines, but also strange things happen, like cars back up hills on their own. Just things you don't expect. Does that sort of thing happen there as well?
Oh yeah. On these gravity hills, people can set a ball at the base, and the ball will actually roll uphill.
Yeah. They didn't teach us that in physics.
So there's
it's going to roll downhill. Right. Well, you're just a wealth of knowledge, and I have a feeling we're going to be having some multiple conversations here. We've got to get to the book, though. Now, you've written a number of books. Your latest one, what is that about?
The latest one is UFOs and law enforcement, but that hasn't come out yet.
Oh, okay.
That was written with Fred Saluga from MUFON, and he was he was retired now, but he was a former police chief in Pennsylvania, and so that's going to be an exciting book. But the latest book in the Venus series is Flying Saucers from Venus They Come. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I like the cover. That tells you exactly what the book is about. So, well, do give us a little bit more information about that.
Okay. Is it possible to share here on the screen?
Oh, yes, you can share screen.
At
the bottom where there's a little plus sign.
Oh, the plus sign. Okay. Share. Oh, let's see. No. Oops. Let me go back there. Share screen. Okay. And let's see. So to do that, so I have the PowerPoint at the bottom of the screen. Oh, select the tab to share.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't see it right now. I should see that.
Okay. Oops. No. Oh, okay.
This was unplanned, folks.
Yeah,
So,
I'm in my 70s. I'm not much of a techie.
okay, we might
Let's see.
have to just let you mess with that for a minute while we gosh, there have been a number of people who have had contact with Venusians, and you're one of them. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Well, this was my inspiration to do these Venus books, is through my contact with Venusians, primarily, as well as other extraterrestrials. And I have to preface my remark a little bit because many people, um, like they say this is kind of woo-woo stuff, but it's really not, because a national poll was taken at the uh, first big UFO disclosure event on the around the time of the 25th of June of 2021, and around the time of the congressional hearings about the Tic Tacs and the Navy thing.
Hmm.
And they said that in this poll, they found out that 80% of Americans have seen UFOs, and um, also believe that 50% believe that they were extraterrestrials or ultradimensional, and 15% of the American population, that'd be 45 million people of a population of 300 million, have actually come to believe that they've had contact with extraterrestrials, ultradimensionals, or intelligences from beyond this world, beyond our plane of existence. So it's not really that much of a woo-woo thing to say that
Right.
that you're in contact with extraterrestrials, and I have to remind people that that when just in a general religious context, um, people don't scoff at the idea that angels exist, and and that they've talked to angels. In fact, in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 2, it says, we should always be kind to one another, for know ye not that ye entertain angels unawares. And
Right.
and even Billy Graham, he made the comparison there in his book, Angels, God's Secret Agents, on page 25 of that book, published in 1975. He said, don't be surprised if we find out that the aliens that are coming to Earth in the flying saucers turn out to be angels. So
yes, exactly.
so I just want to put that out there, because uh, it's just amazing how many people try to put down the idea of contact with extraterrestrials. And
But as you mentioned, it's a ever shrinking portion of the population that feels that way.
yeah, the population is shrinking. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
in the course of the UFO investigations that I do and have done since the 60s, then I've discovered that that there are many people who who have had contacts and or who say that they are from other planets, and just knowing some of them uh, led me into further contacts and revelations throughout my life. The earliest one goes back to 1972, and I was with Gabriel Green from the out in California, Southern California, and we met a woman, Dolores Barrios, and we went to uh, uh, see this lady. Uh, she said she was Uriel, the queen of the archangels. That she was from Venus as well, and we met her down in the San Diego area, and I wrote about this. I published an article about it, and this woman, Dolores Barrios, came from Brazil, and she brought a lot of information from Brazil, with different UFO clubs and researchers that she was working with there, and shared it with Gabe and myself and Uriel, and I put all of it in the article. But I later found out that she was a Venusian, and Gabriel Green himself was from the Alpha Proxima Centauri system, and it was just the first inclination that we're definitely not alone. One of the books I wrote was even titled "The Real Resident Aliens." That yeah, that one just came out too, and that's a real popular book.
Oh, I'll bet. And for those who are not familiar with the subject, the Venusians look like humans, don't they?
Yes, they do. There's some slight variations, uh, but not readily apparent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I've got so many questions because my listeners know that I'm a contactee of Val Thor, and he's actually been my main contact. Sometimes there'll be someone else standing there, but rarely. I haven't had a whole lot of contact with a lot of them, and my means of travel is astral travel. So I will use my astral body to go on their craft or go somewhere else on their craft. What is your means of travel?
Okay, there are several ways that one can do that. When the Rob Potter received, he carried out the conferences in Mount Shasta, and he received a communique from Valiant Thor, which was played for 200 some people there, and he talked about the different crew members that are on board the Victor One,
Mm-hmm.
where the Victor One was located, where the people there should focus their attention, and gave instructions on how people can travel in the astral to attend night classes on board the Victor One, or travel to Venus or other planets. Then within higher dimensions, you can travel between planets and solar systems instantaneously through a bilocation signal. And I experienced that in Mount Shasta, and then also traveling on board a physical craft. And so within the like within the solar system, you can't do it instantaneously, uh, and you can't go at light speed or beyond because the, the the chance of running into something. But if you're just going to Venus, you can go there in 3 days and uh, under electromagnetic propulsion and using the moon, our moon, as a gravitational assist. And so they have different kinds of craft. Um, for personal conveyances, they have a globe, a transparent globe. It's about 12 feet in diameter, and one or two people can fit in there. And so a lot of times you see these white spheres and
Yes.
so forth.
The
When
orbs that people see, is that what they are?
right, when they pass through the atmosphere, then they take on a white appearance, but up close they're actually transparent. And then you have a kind of drone um, that they deploy into an area before they're going to land the ships, before landing a scout craft or something in the area, or a patrol craft they want to check out. And these can read people's minds and at least their mood, and see if if they're hostile or not, and then they can avoid contact, avoid landing in that area. George Adamski was a prominent contactee back in the 50s and 60s. He called them registered discs. And then we have the scout craft, and the scout craft uh, don't have to generate their own power. They operate within the atmospheric envelope of a planet, and they could also operate freely in space when they're within the vicinity of the electromagnetic drive of the mothership. And what they do is they find magnetic lines of force, and they just uh, uh, use that, and they kind of just like sail along the electromagnetic lines of force and utilize
Yeah.
that power. That's why they have the condensers. They have those three spheres on the bottom, because they collect that energy, and so it's like it's free energy basically.
Uh,
then then
yeah,
there's
a lot of people have actually seen that.
oh yes, and photographed them as well,
Yeah.
many places. And then we have the Saturn type, Saturn class patrol craft, and these are 99 feet in diameter, and they can hold up to eight people. And usually, when a Venusian craft is landing somewhere, um, they uh, they will send out a security team first, and then later on, when the coast is clear and they know that the Venusians that they're going to drop off are going to be safe. Then they could just kind of blend into the background and just uh, go with them into the city or to a designated location, like a safe house or something. So that's how they operate. And then in space, you have um, the 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 motherships. So the motherships, um, They travel at sublight speed within solar systems, and then outside, though, they can engage a different kind of a different kind of drive
Yeah.
that also actually distorts time. It creates a field that distorts time, and then they could slip through like a like a hole. And the best way to describe it is just like poking a hole in the space time continuum. They do something to compress gravity, and it's like if if space were you could fold space and that, and then if you took and you poked a hole through it, then you could even be on the other side of the universe really quick.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen that. Tell us about your first trip to Venus. What was that like, and how did that come about?
Well, it came about. Actually, the preparation for it began way before. So I was gradually introduced to Venusians and so forth over these many decades. And then in 1987, I went to Mount Shasta with our UFO. We had a UFO group with 14 chapters worldwide called OSIRIS, Outer Space International Research and Investigation Society. And we were holding meetings in people's homes and in the Salt Lake City area, the suburb of Murray. Then Clayton Parker, he was a gentleman, 87 years old at the time, 1987, and he invited us all to go with him to Mount Shasta, and so we did. And he said we would meet an ascended master over there, and so yeah, we believed him, and he so we went in a caravan there. First, we stopped over to see Sister Thedra, and she gave us a beautiful book showing how the the various etheric star vessels and so forth can cloak themselves as creating an ionization field around themselves to form these clouds,
Mm-hmm.
these lenticular clouds. And so that was what we did there first. And then we went to the foot of Mount Shasta. This was in the summer of 1987. And he said, follow the trail all the way up until you're above the tree line, and then just keep going. So we did, and then we came to a stream, and that was coming from an outcropping of rocks. And then later on, some people told us that that location is known as Panther Meadow. But we got there. We sat down by the rocks and to drink some cool water from a spring that was coming out. And then all of a sudden, everything turned like a golden hue, and like full of sparkles and everything. And then just this ray of sparkling light, and then a woman stepped out of it, and she had a white jumpsuit on. It had gold braid on it. She had kind of reddish brown hair, and she said her name is. She said, "I'm Lady Ankara, and I'm here to answer your. Oh, do not be afraid. I'm here to answer your questions about flying saucers."
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And she said, we're standing in the middle of a bilocation signal that we're simultaneously on a planet called Balaton in the Sirius star system and Mount Shasta.
Oh,
And she said that she came from a Venusian colony there. There's colonies there, that the Sirius star system is a stellar incubator and a planetary incubator. And there's a galactic confederation that's preparing new worlds for people, for colonists from members of this galactic confederation. It consists of 601 planets and 51 solar systems. And
wow.
so for 3 hours, she revealed all this information to us. And then she said that if we didn't believe that we were in a bilocation signal, she said, look up at the edge of the mountain, and you'll tell me what you'll see. And we saw these big mantis beings. They were like 5 to 15 feet long, each one. They were going up and down the side of the mountain. And she said the mantids controlled the stargates. And she gave us a detailed explanation of it. And then she said we have to conclude, because the portal was closing. And then Kay Studstrup in the group, we were meeting at her home in Murray. There was 8 of us up there, and she said, could she take a picture of Lady Ankara with all of us? And so she said, sure, go ahead. And then so we took the picture. This is before digital photography. So anyway, that we were very happy about that. And then she gave everybody a hug, and stood back a little bit. And then the same way that she came, with the sparkling gold aura and light, she just like stepped into this light and faded out. And so we were just totally overwhelmed. And we hurried back down the mountain, and we told Clayton about it. And he said, do you know who that was? And it said, she said her name is Lady Ankara, and he said that was her boyhood friend. When he was a boy, that was her friend. They grew up in Idaho, American Falls, Idaho. That was a lady named Annalise Guerin, and she'd written many books about spiritual subjects and how you can get into heaven bodily without ever even dying. And he told us how he was with her when she translated, and her first stop was Venus. And
Wow.
so I know
What a story.
I know it sounds.
It has to be in your books.
Yeah, it is. It's in the whole story of that is in the Venus rising. But later on so there's another lady that I kept meeting, was Dolores Barrios, and the Portuguese or Brazilian lady. And then I met her several times. And then in 2012, when I was in China, I was teaching at the Wuxi International School there. And then I met her there, and she invited me to go to Venus with her at a specific date and time. And then I met her on the roof of an apartment building that I was living in Wuxi. I lived on the 11th floor.
Of
And
course, 11. Okay.
1111.
Yeah.
And so we flew across. She came in an orb, one of these orbs, and I got in it and just walked into in it with her.
So physically, your physical body.
Yeah, this is a
Okay.
physical body,
Okay.
and we flew across the Tibetan plateau and into the Namsu Lake region. Um, it's called the Lake of Heaven by the Tibetans, and there were prayer flags all over, fluttering in the wind, and there was an island out there in the middle of the lake with a temple, uh, like a Tibetan Buddhist temple.
Mhm.
So we went into the tent and everything, and we saw uh, Venusian Lady in Kara again, and then there was other orbs coming from everywhere and scout craft, and they were waiting for the arrival of a mothership, and so uh, we we all boarded it, and there was actually another one coming down as well to take everybody to Venus, and so everything that happened there is so much information that I put it in the. I had to write these 7 books just in the Venus series alone, and
Uh-huh.
what I've just completed my autobiography, so that's going to be coming out probably when I go with Omnek Onek to the conference in Germany in May. It's going to be, if you're interested in going, it's going to be at this ashram about 40 minutes south of Frankfurt in Germany in the second week of May. You can go to venusspirit.com and Anya Schaefer's website and get information on how to go. And I'll also be going there with Bob Spearing. He's the international sightings director at MUFON.
Yes, he is. I know Bob very well.
So we're
Wow.
that's also something that in 1972 I was stationed when I met with Gabe and Uriel, and her Earth name is Ruth Norman, and then Dolores Barrios. When we met out there in San Diego, El Cajon area, the there was a sighting that took place on the base. I was working at Miramar Naval Air Station. I was the editor of the Jet Journal newspaper, Fighter Town, USA.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, Bob had recently uncovered through Stringfield's UFO files about a case that happened at Miramar. And in that article that I wrote, you can find it on Lon Strickler's website, phantomsandmonsters.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's with the California Vanguard of Ufology in 1972. That's the name of the article.
Okay.
And it tell it all about my meeting there, and also about my time at Miramar Naval Air Station as a Navy journalist.
And you knew Dr. Frank Strange's, the author of Stranger at the Pentagon. Did Did he discuss his encounters with Valthor?
Oh yes, um, I I gave Rob Potter from my Venus file. I gave him a copy uh, from my Venus files, and also to a group in China, um, a first edition, pristine condition of My Friend from Venus, 1960,
Mm,
published by his Dr. Frank Strange's uh, International Crusade Ministry, and yeah, so that explains how he met Valiant Thor, and for the first time in about as a chaplain when he was visiting Washington D.C. As part of a conference when he was National Police Chaplain, and when I gave a talk in New Jersey, um, my friend Jeff Hutchison, he was the bodyguard for Dr. Frank Strange's. He gave me Dr. Frank's ministerial robe, and I wore that when I did the presentation on with the Howard Menger, Otto Binder, August C. Roberts, and
hmm
Dr. Frank's files on Valiant Thor. So, at some future date, I'd be happy to share that with you and your audience as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to keep you tied up for the next couple of years.
Well, I think I've got it now. Let me see if I can if I can bring this up with this book. Okay, is
Okay, looks like here we go. Here we go. Let me add this.
okay. Is it coming
We're
through?
seeing we're seeing your whole screen. I think you want to just let me remove that. I think you just want to pick one a window.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you wanted if your presentation, that's the only thing you need to click on.
Oh, okay. Is that coming up?
There's something, but it's small.
Oh, okay.
I take that out again.
All right. Let's see. Is is it going now?
No.
It says StreamYard is sharing a window and audio.
Yeah, except that we're not seeing what you want us
Oh,
to see.
hmm.
So, well, I tell you what, we'll work that out for the next time,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, that'll be fine.
and we can absolutely show that. What do people need to know about your latest book?
Well, this one, Flying Saucers from Venus, They Come, talks about the early work of the Gravity Research Foundation back in the 1920s, um, and all the people who won awards, who came to work with the government and with Skunk Works and with Project Paperclip and all these other secretive organizations
Mhm.
developing the G ships, the anti gravity ships, and about the UFO propulsion, and it's all documented. Uh, all the photographs and all the information about each of these individuals, um, including from other countries like R.R.L. Searle, um, and many of the people that came out to the um, uh, giant rock conventions,
Yes.
interplanetary spacecraft conventions that revealed a lot of information, like Trevor James Constable from New Zealand, about UFO artifacts, about secret projects in corporations, and test pilots who on loan from the military that flew some of the that flew some of these test vehicles and G ships, what was really going on at White Sands. I have photographs of the people that were military people that were attached to the Falcon missile program that were with Daniel Fry, a contactee.
Yeah.
And the Lear Corporation, what was going on with William P. Lear back in 1955. On the 21st of November of that year, there was a consortium of aviation and electronic industry leaders, and Lear said at that conference, "I am convinced that it will be possible to create artificial electrogravitational fields whose polarity can be controlled to cancel out gravity. All the mass materials and human beings within these fields will be part of them." And the information like that, and it's just an outstanding presentation. So if we do that podcast, we'll have there's 50 slides altogether, and each one is completely documented.
Okay, well, what we're going to do is that'll be a presentation that'll be for our mini con, our UFO mini con this year coming up real soon. NX Network will be making an announcement about that soon. Dr. Keller, thank you so much. I wish we had a lot more time, but we will definitely have you back. I appreciate your time today.
Oh, thank you, Margie. It's a pleasure to be on the program, and once again, Happy New Year to one and all, as measured on Earth time.
All right, same to you, and please hang in the studio with me for a few minutes.
Okay, will do.
All right, Dr. Raymond Keller, we will have him back to discuss a lot more, and do check out his books. They sound fascinating. I am going to get all of them and read them today. They will be on order. I will see you here again next week.
The truth, it's out there, and it's waiting for you. The Unexplained Network is your source for the best in paranormal programming, live video streaming, and audio streaming from hauntings, UFOs, Bigfoot, cryptids, and the ever-expanding realm of the unexplained. Listen live or on demand now on Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeart, and Pockets all over the World Wide Web. The Unexplained Network, where unexplained lives.